Joining me now is Dan Geltrude, market analyst and founder of Geltrude and Company. Dan, thank you so much for joining us on this Labor Day. We appreciate you working today and giving us a little bit of your time. I want to get your thoughts on that. Is it over? Does everybody have to go back to work now?
I wouldn't say it's over and everyone has to go back to work, but what I will say is this. It really depends on what the market is going to do, and I mean the job market. So that determines who has the leverage. So if these companies are going to draw a line in the sand and say, hey, you have to come back to work in the office, well, employees may accept that for a period of time unless they can find a job somewhere else that gives them what they want. And if that happens and employers find themselves being short on workers, well, they're not going to have a choice but to have to bend on that a little bit. So it really is it's going to depend on what happens with the job market.
All right, well, let's talk about when there's like really big money involved. This is a quote from the New York Post, banks pressuring on the pressure for workers to get back in the office. CEOs at top banks, where the acceptance rate to get a coveted job is as low as 1.5%, feel they can finally lay down the law. The likelihood of a long-lasting recession, coupled with the recent waves of layoffs, have shifted the balance of power to employers. Now, is that true in the case where if it's a really high-paying, hard-to-get job, they might have you over the barrel, but like you mentioned, if it's something where there's a competitive salary somewhere else, you might lose that employee?
That's very true. But in this particular instance, we're talking about high-paying jobs. Right. And like anything else, employees have to weigh out that work-life balance based upon how much money they're going to be making. And I think in those types of jobs, you're going to see that employees are going to go back to the office and they're going to stay there simply because they're in some pretty thin air there where you're getting these large salaries.
That's absolutely true. Daniel Geltrude, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for bringing us your insights on this Labor Day. Somebody out there is making the big bucks, and they'll probably stick with that gig. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.